Hello, everyone. I think it's exactly 5:30. I'm Azamat, co-founder and co-CEO of Fortu Wealth. I have here Chris, our CTO, and
Hello.
Firdavs, my
Hello, everybody.
Co-CTO. We came back to the office today, so Firdavs is still working from home. He's supposed to come back next week. Um, First of all, I wanted to say thank you for those who joined the call, who supported our campaign. We are really grateful and really encouraged by your support because it's the first time we're doing crowdfunding. And we were, me and Firdavs and Chris, the whole team were really encouraged by this level of support that we saw, that so many people, over 360 people, believed in us, supported us, and we're really grateful for that. And we will try to do our best to fulfill what we promised, what we are planning to do. So in that sense, I wanted to start with that note. So thank you very much. And maybe I would like to quickly show you where we are sitting. So we are in our office in level 39 Canary Wharf. It's quite empty now because we did not come back yet fully. Yes, the first day, and we obviously wanted some quieter space to do this call first as well. You can see my screen. I'm doing the screen sharing, so you see the agenda for the call. Basically, I wanted to also tell you more about what we are planning to do. So if you have any questions during the presentation, I suggest you can write it in the chat and we can raise it straight away. If you wanted to participate in a video format, again, you can raise it in the chat, and my colleague who is basically hosting the call, he will be able to either switch on your video or add your question and send it to me. Basically, that's how it's going to work. So we wanted to start with a quick overview of the questions we received on forum, because it's a significant number of questions. Again, I wanted to thank those who did those questions, because again, it shows the level of engagement and that you guys showed interest in what we're doing. We're really humbled and impressed by that. Thank you so much. So the first question is quite interesting one. So it's true that we deal with high-net-worth investors, and it's true that we had access to capital. We were actually offered by a couple of family offices to seed our startup because we have good relationships with a couple of clients, and it's not a significant amount. But for us, it's not the money that we raise, but it's rather the support, the questions, and the transparency that we see from the campaign. First of all, we want to embrace and encourage transparency. It's one of our main corporate values. We actually have it here on the wall. It's our corporate values, and transparency is one of them. And it's a bit different to the private banking space, which is not about transparency. But I think this campaign helped us to embrace it, because you can see that we are open to any questions. We sharing all the information, so we're quite transparent in that sense. And we built a number of new contacts and relationships throughout this campaign, because we received over 800 people who showed interest in Fortu on the pre-registration campaign. So we received a lot of interest from them. Then over 360 people who already invested in Fortu. So that's a great number of people who support us, who believe in us, and who encourage us. And a lot of them are angel investors who we see as strategic investors who can help us grow and add value on the board level, on advisory board level. I would like to mention Amadeo, because we had with him a couple of calls and meetings already, and he's one of the investors. I think he's on the call as well. Hey man, how are you? Nice to see you. So I think going through Seeders was the right solution and right choice, rather than going to a couple of passive family offices who will just give us money. And in that sense, your investments are, we consider it as a smart money investment, because you bring a lot of value to us. And actually, adding on the 100 plus micro shareholders, on our cap table, it will be just one line of seeders. So it's not going to be all of the people who invested 360 lines, because you know that's a nominee structure that seeders has. So next question is about comparison to Interactive Brokers or Revolut. It's a fair comparison. I would say that a lot of millennial high net worth individuals that we target, they would have a Revolut account, and they would have Interactive Brokers account, TransferWise account, Kraken account. But what we want to offer is the ability to use just one Fortu account instead of using those 5 different apps. So if you are able to consolidate and have a portfolio view of all your investments, if you are able not to have a need of going through KYC, AML with each of the providers, not to need to remember login details for each app. So it's what Fortu is designed for. Basically, we want to have a single entry private banking experience for millennial high net worth individuals. And so far, I mean, because we did run a couple of tests through social media, A/B testing, and we received a lot of interest in that particular solution. So we did our initial groundwork, which showed that there is a need for this particular service. Also, I wanted to just thank you for the questions, Lauren. I'm not sure if you're on the call, but again, I on purpose included the names of people who were asking questions, because it's really we really grateful to you guys, because it's important that you raise those questions and we can answer them publicly. So the third question is about RDR compliance. We maybe Firdavs, you can tackle this question, because it's more over your area. Because Firdavs used to be a compliance manager for Jefferson Capital, and now he is basically leading the compliance function as well in Fortu.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes. Thank you for the question, Christopher, if you're here. No, it doesn't not mean that every relationship manager would have to be required to be RDR compliant. Obviously, RDR compliance is required if we deal with retail customers and we provide them investment advice. Obviously, not all of our customers will require the investment advice, and those who do want to get that service would have to be looked after by a person who is RDR compliant. That's correct, yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Firdavs. Yeah, I'll be moving faster, because bearing in mind that we have a big number of questions and we have quite limited time, we don't want to take all your evening. So regarding AML onboarding solution partner, we use a number of partners. So we actually, in our business, compliance and KYC is the key factor, differentiator, because it's really important to verify the source of wealth, origin of wealth, and understand who is your client in advance. And that's one of the reasons why private banks have such a complicated onboarding forms. On average, those forms, I don't have them here, but it's like this thick pile of paper. And they still paper forms. They have to be wet signature, filled in manually. So that's how private banking still operates. And the reason for that is because they need to verify the whole story of source of wealth. So in that sense, what we do, we use traditional usual suspects that you probably know for onboarding. So it's the video verification of the identity through OnFido, the Comply Advantage database to verify the documents, and to match that person to identity. Yeah, and we also use Vault Check for transaction monitoring. So it's a number of providers that we use, and we're growing that number because the goal is to automate and get as much functionality digitally to prove to private banks and to their compliance teams that they don't need to use these thick forms anymore. Because one of the offerings that we have is also we're providing this solution to private banks, wealth managers, as you know, and we will show that to you shortly. So move to the next. Regarding the tax relief, unfortunately, it's already finished. At the same time, when we spoke last time to Cedars team, they told us that they will be able to double check regarding the allocation of those who would need to claim and those who would not need to claim the tax relief out of the 150,000 that were invested after 200. So those who invest now, most likely they will not get, but those who invested in the bracket between 350 to 370, out of that 20,000, most likely they will qualify, or some of them will qualify for the tax relief. But I would like to remind that it will automatically switch to EIS. So those who invest after that amount, after that milestone, they will get the EIS relief. Question 6. Also, guys, if you have any questions, because you know that these questions we already have answers in the forum. I'm just trying to go do the brief overview and go over them again. If I can add more detail, but you are more than welcome to ask those questions again or ask any other questions in the chat here, because here we have like 3 minutes more left and we just covered 6 questions. So maybe, and actually all I wanted to say a few words about Naveen, who is really active. He asked majority of the questions, as you saw. I'm not sure if Naveen is on the call, but it's really, we are really grateful to him for covering so many questions. So maybe I pick a couple of them. I don't know. So what sort of alternative investments we're planning to have? So alternatives, we are now working on integration with Kraken to offer crypto investments. Now they're becoming more and more topical with the growth of the crypto market, as you know yourselves. We are talking to a number of providers who do VCTs, EIS investments in terms of the kind of tax incentive here in the UK market. We're talking to a number of providers in alternative space like invoice financing, asset-backed lending. So in all of those sectors, we're actively approaching partners and trying to understand how we can integrate the offering into the platform. We are door to door with Wise Alpha. So Wise Alpha, it's not an alternative investment, but it's bonds. They offer bonds, but still the way they do it is quite unique and it's different, and they quite innovative in their approach. We really like what they're doing, so we will integrate their offering as well. But the idea is to get as many different asset classes as we can. There is a platform offering now renewable energy investments, so it's becoming topical again, and so we will work on the range of the investments on our end. So I will be able to share with you some more, I mean, further on in the presentation of SaaS model, because so let's pick and choose how long we work together. So me and Firdavs, we worked together. We worked together with Jefferson Capital for last 5 years, with another enterprise, charity enterprise that we started together. We've been doing it for over 10 years now. So, and with Fortu just recently, 1.5 year. So that's it. I think, yeah, I need to move to the next question. So this is, again, talking about Naveen. He, if you saw the forum, he raised that question a couple of times because he asked whether we have the competitor analysis document or something separate which we can share. So, so we prepared this in particularly for him because we didn't have a separate document for that. As we had a lot of secondary data that we analyzed, the third-party reports that we used in our analytics, but nothing we separate for that. So we prepared this for him. So in our space, I mean, when we talk about millennial high net worth individuals and private banking offerings for them, there is a number of providers. I mean, they're not in particular focusing this target audience because it's a new market, new target audience that is growing now, and it will be growing within the next 10 years. But here on the y-axis and on the x-axis, we chose in particular two main factors. So on the x-axis, we have the time saved by customer using this product in particular, because one of the, from our experience, one of the main reasons why people use fintech products is to save time, to make it convenient, quick. And in that sense, you can also say that it's a UX. A good comparison is the number of clicks. You know, that Revolut has managed to do the onboarding in 22 clicks or 21 clicks, whilst Barclays had it in 110. So the number of clicks that customer needs to do in order to just open an account. So in that sense, we're trying to, I mean, we build the scale using those metrics. That's what time means in that sense. In terms of value, we're talking about the relevance of the value proposition to the target audience, because some of the products that Coutts or some of the other private banks are offering, they are not relevant or not understood by the millennial high net worth individuals. And that's why, I mean, in that scale, Fortu is positioned. I mean, maybe we are too optimistic by positioning ourselves here, but at the same time, that's where we aspire to be. That's where we want to be. That's our goal. And on all other providers, we can show you more. I mean, to prove that it's there. I also wanted to share with you the couple of providers which are new entrants or those who are developing new things now, because the market is moving quickly. It's not fixed, as you know, it's a competition. And this kind of digital private banking space is being active now because of COVID, for sure. The COVID has had its impact because people understood that even though traditionally private banking was about relationship and not about digital, it was paper-based, as I showed you these thick forms. But at the same time, due to COVID, people understood that it's a Zoom call generation, that a lot of business can be done via Zoom. And even in private banking space, it's true as well. So that's why a lot of banks are now trying to digitalize and launching their own solutions. I would like to add on UBS. So basically they had this unsuccessful attempt, but now with the new CEO, the latest article I think we read with Firdavs was that they're planning to invest up to 5 billion to digitalize and have a new platform targeting millennials. So this space is moving. So it's not that I can't say that with Fortu we found a unique space which others don't see. I think the industry, private banking industry, they see this, they understand it, and it's a proven fact that it's happening, that it's digitalizing, that it has to digitalize because the customer expectations shifted. It's a question whether they will be fast enough and whether they will focus on the right things or not. And here I have just some examples when we talk about right things and what they focus on. Is just examples showing what they currently have, because we in our product offering we focus on UX, because we think that UX and this time for customer to navigate is the most valuable and important thing, number of clicks. But here you can see that the UX they have is not
not great. It's
yeah,
a striking difference from ours, I think.
yeah, I don't want to comment much, but you can see it yourself. So basically Deutsche Bank is great font.
Yeah, it's a much cleaner.
Yeah. So I'm finishing on that because I think it's not the reason. Also, I'm not talking too much about competition is because I think we are not going against competitors in that space, because we believe that the market that we are after in B2C offering, it's not currently captured by private banks, because our customers, they're using different multiple solutions. Like I gave you example of them having TransferWise, Kraken, Revolut, interactive brokers. It's a question that we address them, saying that you can save time and use just one provider instead of using multiple. That's the whole idea. But I think they are not the customers of those banks that you saw. And also another thing, what you can possibly do, you can go on App Store, because we took this from App Store, and just search private banking there and check how many downloads or reviews those apps have. So you will understand yourself, basically. We don't need to show it. So I guess I will be switching to the presentation of the SaaS solution. You know that in the pitch deck, we did not share that because we did not want to overload it with information. So the idea was to keep it as clean as possible. So that's why here we decided to spend more time on that. Yeah, I just opened the questions because I was reminded that we have questions. Before I started, I'll try to run through the questions now as well. So following on from Lauren, how many HNYs you spoken? I cannot share this, right? Yeah, I cannot share. So the question from Rob is that he's asking how many customers did we interview and how many people we spoke to during surveys. And I can tell you that we spoke with the customer base of Jefferson Capital, the boutique asset management firm that we had. It's not a big number. It's about 20 people, various customers in different age groups. But we also did a survey, which is a targeted survey through SurveyMonkey. And we basically, from that survey, we found all of the main pain points that we want to address. And one of the main ones was the UX and convenience of use of the digital product, basically. That's why we started with that. So next question is from Faridun. He's asking how residents of other countries can invest. Basically, we are now restricted by the CEDARs because they deal with certain jurisdictions on investments. But for angel investors with the bigger tickets, we can discuss the direct investment. I guess Faridun is not in the European Union. That's why he's asking. Can British expats use your services? For now, we are operating only within the European Union. So the idea is to
expats within the EU. They can certainly
they
can certainly use the
they can
services.
certainly use, true. Then the next one, interested to hear more about the white labeling of the technology. Yeah, that's what we will show you now. I was just reminded by my colleagues that according to agenda, we should do the product video first before this. It's good that you reminded me. So one more question from Rob. What have you learned from these failures? Sorry. Can't, I think it's here. Fortu. Yeah. Why would Fortu be better than Ikigai or Kuts? Great question. So from these failures, we learned, first of all, we learned from the failures of the corporate guys that they had corporate approach to the development, because we're a tech startup with a very strong culture of agile development. So we are not sort of iterating and planning the product for a couple of years and then ditching it, because that's what happened with the UBS app. They were trying to bring it to perfection, and they spent 2 years, I think, planning, and then 1 year developing, and then ditched whatever they did. And we know a couple of other examples, unsuccessful examples, because of that, because they were too much afraid of releasing the product to the public. And in that sense, we kind of decided to release it as soon as we could, even though it's an MVP stage. We had a lot of risk in terms of getting negative reviews, etc., etc. But we thought, okay, we are a startup, and people, we learn from our customers. They give us feedback. They tell us where the bugs are, where the problems are, and we improve with our customers. And that's the reason we did seeders as well, because we wanted to improve on the go and in iterations like any other normal startups would do. And I think that's the main difference to our corporate competition. Regarding Ikigai, I can't really tell you yet, because I think they're not fully live, because they started around the same time. So I don't know why would it be better. It's a competition. They might be better at some point. So hopefully we are better, because we have more, I think, private banking focus, and we understand this market quite well. Firdavs just replied. Okay, I think we can switch to the demo, and Chris will be overtaking from me. I'll just switch to the demo video. Just a sec.
So I prepared a video that walks us through the iOS app.
Yeah. Okay, I'm starting.
Which we're going to see now. Hi there. I'm going to take us through the Fortu Wealth app. If you haven't used the app before, you'll want to go ahead and sign up. When you're signing up, you can sign up as an individual or as a business user.
Sorry, guys, I had to stop. Do you see the screen? Because
Yes, we see.
You see the screen, right? Because I received the message. Some people don't see the screen. Okay, I will restart.
Hi there. I'm going to take us through the Fortu Wealth app. If you haven't used the app before, you'll want to go ahead and sign up. When you're signing up, you can sign up as an individual or as a business user. And once you've completed the registration process, you can log in with your username and password, or in this case, Apple Face ID. So now that I've logged in, I'm associated with a few different people. So here we can see my family office or my accountants. So I'm going to go ahead and check my family office accounts. I can see a number of different transactions here, and I can choose the period of time I'm interested in to look at my past transactions and go into further details on a specific transaction. If I want to make a payment, I can go ahead and do that. I can select the account I want to send the money from and to, put the amount in, and go ahead and make the transaction. And then here I'll see the transaction is pending. And then in a moment, it will complete as the money goes through. There we go. So if I want, I can top up my Fortu account using our partner Plaid. So I just add the amount I want to top up, and then I'll be taken through Plaid's process. I'll get to select the bank that I want to top up from. We support lots of different banks, and I'll be taken through my bank's authentication process. If I want to add another account, There are a couple of different accounts I can choose from, a current account or a savings account with either sterling or euros. So now I've made this new account, I can go ahead and move some funds from one of my European accounts and do an FX transfer. You can also make a payment by uploading an invoice. So we can take a photo of the invoice and upload it to the app, and then it will be added as a pending transaction against your account. It's possible to create virtual cards with a pre-debited amount of funds. We can create lots of these for each account. And you can also order physical cards as well. So now looking at investments, I can see my portfolio here. I can select an instrument. And then if I want, go ahead and make a trade. That will then be taken through to an advisor at Fortu who can execute that on my behalf. Finally, I can look at support if I want to contact someone at Fortu. And I can change some of the settings in the app. So I can change the default currency, or if I want to change my password. And that's about it for the app.
Thank you, Chris. We did this short one, I mean, because we didn't want to take, again, all of your time. We also basically have a desktop version of that. We didn't want to do it because it's obvious it's the same user flow, but we see that, for example, a lot of family offices, they have someone in charge of payments and accounting who would prefer to use the desktop version for the business account. And then the beneficial owner would have an access to a business account through the app, but at the same time, the second access, so the second user of the same account would be using the desktop. So that's why we have a desktop version, which basically has the same user flow that you saw, but on desktop. There is also another element which was not in the demo. It's the backend. Backend basically covers the what I will show you now, the business. Yeah. So you see the screen, right? Yeah, you see the screen. Okay. So backend basically covers what we offer to private banks, external asset managers. It has a transaction monitoring tool. It has the user-friendly format how to manage those accounts for account managers, and how to manage the compliance, which is really important. But we didn't do it because we thought it's going to be too long. And again, what you saw now, it's what we have now. It's an MVP, so it's work in progress. So we're trying to improve it, because I can't say that it's like the perfect UX, because after competitor analysis, it's a lot of pressure. But it's work in progress. Yeah, we're working on that and we're improving the UX on the go. So on the presentation on the SaaS solution, basically is the first draft. Again, we have this vision, and the whole idea of Fortu started with this simple vision that private banking industry will have e-wallets. It will have to adopt e-wallets because the generation of millennials is taking over. They're becoming important clients. They have more and more wealth. So within the next 10 years, we will see the transition of wealth. A lot of money will be inherited and they will make a lot of money. Maybe some of them already made through investing in Bitcoin, I don't know. But basically, we see that there is a new generation of rich people and it's growing. And we think that banks are not ready for this generation of people. They still don't understand cryptos. A lot of them still, even though they want to embrace crypto, and I just heard today that BlackRock has allocation to Bitcoin. So a lot of major institutional investors now looking into cryptos as an asset class that they want to hold. That what is pushing cryptos up. And in that sense, private banks, from my experience, when we were dealing with a couple of clients who have crypto portfolios, they were not considering crypto as an asset class which has any lending value. They were considering it only if only client sold the position and transferred the money back into bank account. Only then they can classify it as an asset with a lending value. So that's the reality of how private banks deal with crypto for now. But what we offer is a number of platforms. So we're dealing with a number of them, as you can see. And this number will grow because we just started. Basically, we were predominantly focused on the B2C offering and to get to the product that you saw just now. But B2B offering is something new, what we started just recently. And we have the first client, as you know. We are planning to deploy that in March next year. So we have 3 months to get it to the right level. A little bit about the benefits for those B2B SaaS clients, why they would choose Fortu. First of all, there is a lot of people in private banking space now understand that there is a general trend of growth in alternatives, that alternative investments and alternative investment platform, wealth tech platforms are growing their AUMs, because those high net worth individuals, millennial high net worth individuals who made their money investing in Bitcoin, they are not coming to private banks and not paying them that fat margin commissions that their parents did. And so for the private banks to capture this market, they need to offer a product which will speak in the same language with this type of audience, and the product which will provide this type of audience to access to those investments. And then they can say that they have right sort of approach which will capture as much wallet share of that particular client as they can. Because in private banking space, there is a term called wallet share. Basically, there is a certain net worth of the client and certain account size that this client holds in private bank. And the goal of the bank is to get as much money of that client into that account under their own assets under management. So because AUM is one of the key metrics that private banks have. And the goal is to grow the AUM and to grow the wallet share of their clients. So this product would allow them to increase this wallet share, because they will show those investments as investments in the same portfolio view that is visible to the client in the app under the bank's brand. And they will be able to revenue share with third-party providers, because it's an additional revenue stream for the private bank or external asset manager that they have. And obviously the app, the card will build the trust and loyalty of the customer, because it's a question of the brand development for the bank. So this is actually admin, a little bit about admin tools, the security. So I think it's not much value in this. So I guess we can move on to the Q&A because it's, let me open the agenda back. We are nearly finishing our time, so we have 20 minutes left, 15 minutes left. So guys, if you want to switch on the video and ask questions, you're more than welcome to do that, because we wanted to make it more of a dialogue rather than monologue format, so we can discuss things and have a discussion rather than us just presenting non-stop. Firdavs. At least you, because everyone else is quiet. And we don't have many questions. So everything is clear probably. But we have a lot of people on the call. Oh, Amadeo is here. Amadeo?
Oh, yeah, just a quick question. So
sure.
in terms of executing trades for listed stocks,
Yeah.
how is that going to work? So it's not going to be, I guess, using some kind of fintech solution. You're saying it's going to go through one of your, what is it, your advisors or your kind of representatives?
You mean the trading floor, how the trading floor will operate, yeah? Yeah, the idea is that our idea of the trading that we want to test is that we want to allow our customers to use the trading floor instead of inputting the trade digitally. Because in private banking space, the way it's done, usually a client calls the banker in order to buy or sell something or trade something. And then the banker would pass it on to the trading floor and the trade is executed and the client gets the confirmation. Our customers, what we found talking and doing the surveys is that a lot of them are frustrated by the UX of interactive brokers. They like interactive brokers as the provider, but they can't really use it because it's really a bit sophisticated for them. It's a bit difficult to navigate for an average person. For those who trade regularly, they know the tickers, they know where to press, where to click. It's all easy and understandable, but they are always afraid of pressing the wrong button, and they confused with this authentication, continuous authentication that you need to do trading via interactive brokers. So that's why we wanted to offer a hybrid solution. So basically, they would have an interactive brokers account, but Fortu will be managing this trading floor experience for the client. So if client wants to trade by calling or sending a voice message or sending a text message, we would be still able to pick up the trade and execute it. You see what I mean, right?
Yeah. Okay, understood. Yeah. Okay, but I guess that there would still be an option for them to enter.
Yeah, they can do it themselves if they want to. In the same way, you can do it on Revolut app. You can just buy. Because it's obvious for some people, but some people are still for some reason resisting that.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Understood. Yeah.
So I think we have one more question from Judy. Can you say something, please, about the relation between yourselves and CBH? So basically, CBH is the private bank that has partnered with us. We first of all, they are investors, same as you in this round. So they invested on the same conditions in Fortu. Second of all, we decided to build a solution which will allow our customers to open CBH account alongside Fortu account if they want to hold and custodize significant amounts of money on the account. Because we thought that during interviews with customers, we found that one of the concerns is that where the money will be held. And when we explain customers that Fortu in the beginning will be a transactional tool, so we don't expect customers to hold significant balances on the account, but rather use it as a tool for the FX and payments, high value FX and payments, because it's all instant, as you saw in the demo. They also say, what if I want to hold significant amounts of money on the account or receive a significant amount of money on the account? In that sense, what we did is we did an integration with CBH. So a client would be simultaneously opening an account with CBH and then would be able to pull money from CBH account into Fortu account within the app and see the balance of the account within the app. This solution is also convenient for those who have a non-dom status in the UK. There are certain high net worth individuals that have non-domicile tax status, and they need an account which is a non-UK account for their investments and for their assets, because they keep a separate trading log of both of them for the tax purposes. So, and we thought, okay, let's run it as a test. So that's one of the arrangements we have with CBH. And I think with Judy we discussed this, and I explained that. What else? I think that's it. If you have anything else, Firdavs, to add to that, you can. I think I covered that.
There's, yeah, I mean, you've covered pretty well.
Yeah.
They're also one of the customers, first customers, as you rightly mentioned, for our SaaS model.
Yeah.
And we will test with them if it's going to be beneficial for them and for other competitors.
Yeah. So one of the important elements about SaaS is that we actually received a lot of interest, incoming inquiries from multifamily offices, external asset managers. And the beauty of it is that we're not restricted geographically, because when we sell software, we can sell it wherever we want. Whilst when it comes to onboarding B2C customers, we basically restricted by European Union for now. That's the geographical restriction that we have. So just wanted to point out that important. We also wanted to share with you that we're thinking to hire one more person who would be in charge, fully in charge of the SaaS solution and its growth, because we see that business model has, even though those are two business models of the same product and two business models of the same vision that we can trying to deliver to the market, but still there are two different businesses. So selling software is a different business to selling to working with directly with the customers, and we are fully aware of that, both me and Firdavs, and that's why we decided to hire one more person who will join us and who will start working only on that. So Rob is asking a question. Could you share your growth projections? How does the revenue model work and the assumptions around that, as well as some details around the use of proceeds? Sure. Basically, regarding the projections, our goal is to get to 1 million annual recurring revenue next year around this time. That is the requirement that venture capital world has to startups in order to raise a sizable Series A round. And that's our goal, because we were approached by the number of venture capital firms. Some of them are quite well known, big firms. All of them, they got interested, and they said that if you are able to show more traction by summer, we will be possibly doing a convertible to Series A. If it's not by summer, then next, exactly in 12 months' time, we should have the 1 million ARR, which will be a criteria for them to qualify us for a sizable Series A round. So in order to get to that goal, our growth projections are quite simple. Basically, we will need to get at least 5 customers on the SaaS product. We will need to get about 500 customers in the direct-to-consumer product, paying customers, because it's a question like the conversion from the downloads to paying customers. The one that we project is about 10%. So basically, it has to be about 5,000 downloads and 500 paying customers. So that's the goal we have as a target for next year around this time, in order to hit the goal of 1 million ARR. Right now we are on 72,000 ARR. Sorry, Rob, let me check if I answered your question. I'll just read it again. As I promised, I'll share with you the financial model again there. use of proceeds. Yeah. So we will be investing in the tech. So we will be investing to develop further to develop the product, because we have an in-house tech team, which Chris is leading. So we need to grow that team. We need to hire more people. We will be investing in customer acquisition, marketing strategy that we have in place, PR strategy that we have in place. And we will be focusing on the B2B sales that I mentioned to you. Basically, that again requires additional budget. So the goal is to invest in growth and use these proceeds in order to gain as much traction as we can by summer or by December. And both me and Firdavs are genuinely incentivized to get it the sooner rather than later, because we are not getting any salary up until we raise the Series A. So none of us getting any money, because we committed to this project ourselves. So we decided to commit to be without salary up until Series A. So that's why we're genuinely motivated basically to show that traction in order to get to Series A and raise a substantial round. Okay, next question from Dave. What do you believe is the most likely exit scenario here, and when? For you personally, Dave, I think you will be able to exit when we raise the Series A, hopefully, because the target valuation that we have is around 12 million for Series A. So hopefully in 1 year time, you will be able to exit through secondary market on Cedars. For the business,
if Dave wants to do it.
If Dave wants to do it, correct. For the long-term scenario for Fortu, I would like to say that the goal would be to grow to substantial size, because both me and Firdavs, we have an ambition to grow this business big. We are not for the short play here. We're not for the short to make some small amount of money and exit. So we have a long-term ambition to grow it big. In terms of potential acquisitions or being an acquisition target, I think there are two possible scenarios. One is the private banking scenario, because a lot of private banks are active now in digital space. They're interested in this, and for them it might make sense to buy a tech team that can develop this product for them, rather than selling this to all other competitors. It's one of the scenarios. Another scenario is there are companies like Salesforce that are active in M&A activity, and which are active in automation of business and digitalization of traditional businesses. It's another scenario of exit as well. So, but I would say that it's too early now to talk about exit, because we're still in early days. So, but there are a lot of scenarios in mind. Just to answer your question, Dave. I hope I answered. So next question is from Paul. Paul is asking that whether our infrastructure is wallets and whether we're regulated. Are you regulated for this or using third-party provider? Yeah, we are regulated as EMD agents, but we're using a third-party provider for sure, because we rely on our partners. We have Currency Cloud as a major partner. It's a big company, one of the leaders in the space. We have Modular, again, one of the leaders in the space. Modular just received investments from PayPal Ventures, as far as I know. So they're growing quite rapidly, and we're growing with them because they're growing the functionality, and we are, as their partners, using that functionality. We are partners with Plaid, which was acquired by Visa, as you probably know. So we rely on third-party providers, and we grow the number of integrations, because we believe that one of the main values that we can bring to private banks is this network of integrations that we already built, that we are growing, and we're growing that API connections, API integrations, that what we do, our tech team is doing day and night, because that will save time and money for the private banks, because they would not need to have in-house tech team in order to do that. And we also pre-agree the commercial terms, which saves time again for them, because they don't need to establish separate relationships with all of these providers. Let's move to another question. Seb is asking, will Brexit impact you at all, or you will be able to accept customers from the European Union? Firdavs, maybe you can take this one, yeah?
Yes, as Azamat mentioned, we are EMD agent of Modular Finance, Modular FS Limited, who have right now passporting to the EU, but also they've established a relationship. They have established an office in Ireland, which allows them to service EU client, and we therefore can benefit from their presence in Ireland. And yes, for the time being, we will not be affected with Brexit. And then obviously in 2021, we will see where this Brexit leads, and we will know whether it will affect our own license application in 2021, and whether we would need to have another presence in the EU as well. But for the time being, no, it will not be affected. We can still service EU clients.
Yeah, next question is from Carl. He's asking that when he can sign up to the app as a customer, and that he's currently trying to sign up as individual and or business, and the app is crashing. It's actually working. I don't know, maybe if you can leave your email address, we can send you the verification link again, because we had that issue a couple of days ago. It was a small bug. I think we fixed it. The verification link that customer was receiving, it was not fully functioning. But we continuously receive a number of applications. So just today, I think 6 customers were onboarded. So the app is working. It's thank you, Carl. I'll just take a note of that. We did not kind of advertise it yet, because the idea was to focus on the current customers that we have, and we have a waiting list also of those who want to try the product first and become our beta testers. But we are quite cautious with that, because from one point of view, I mean, I gave you the example of the corporate guys, how they deploy things, and it's really slow, and they try to get it to perfection. But from another point of view, we want to be careful with the capabilities that we can offer and the infrastructure that we're building, because in order to maintain it properly, we need to do things in rollouts. So now we are in like a first beta testing mode with a small number of customers that we started in summer, in July. It is about to finish because we learned a lot of things from them. And now we are about to roll out to a wider audience. I think it will happen in a week or so. We were planning originally to do it this week, but we just discussed with Firdavs that we can wait a little bit, because we want to make sure that everything is ready to maintain the whole database of customers. And another thing is that we just about to sign up with the insurance provider that is important as well. So it's still work in progress, as you can see. But the MVP that you saw, it's up and running. It just we're really careful with the rolling it out to the wider audience. So we slow, and we slow on purpose, because we don't want to jeopardize all the work that we did so far in that sense. So but I promise that until the end of the campaign on Cedars, we will be able to fully deploy the product. And I think in one of the answers I already mentioned it. So Dave is asking another question. Are you happy with the governance levels around your business? What is your biggest risk and how you have got it covered? Firdavs, this is your call, I think.
Yeah, that's a difficult one. We are a startup. Of course, we try to maintain high levels of governance within our firm, and we strive to do the best to our abilities. Obviously, because of the experience that we have dealing with clients and dealing with professional intermediaries and dealing with private banks. Um, the biggest risk, uh, I would say that in terms of the IT fraud or fraud in general, we have the insurance in place. Of course, it's not how you get it covered. We obviously do all sort of penetration tests to check if our system is properly secure. I think the biggest risk is the counterparty risk, the fact that our counterparties may perceive the business as too risky for them, which we aim to manage with them by providing them all the necessary information if and when they require. I don't know if I answered this question.
Yeah, I would like to add also regarding the governance that we have the advisory board and we embrace the transparency within the company. As I mentioned earlier, the reason we did Seeders is because we want to have this transparency and culture of transparency within the company. And we also talking to a couple of investors from Seeders that we got to know from Seeders who might be joining us as advisory board members or advisors. So that all, I mean, we don't want to build a non-executive directors board for now, or supervisory board, because I think for a startup it would look weird. but in the future, that's something what we can consider for sure. Amadeo is asking regarding the current customers downloading the app now, how they heard about Fortu. Majority of them, they come through Seeders. Basically, the 6 downloads that we had, we today, I mean, people who, not the downloads, but those who were onboarded, we double checked that majority of them, they already pre-registered on Seeders. So we don't do any other marketing at this point, and we don't want to do that yet. I think we will start it after we finish the campaign, so it will be from next year. We will start with some PR campaign first, and then digital marketing will follow. I hope I answered your question, Amadeo. But anyways, I think we will be meeting soon in person, hopefully, and I will be able to give you more of a background on that. Amen.
Yeah, thanks. That's clear. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's because it's 6:33, so we are 3 minutes over the limit. But let's answer the last question from Raf. So Raf is asking, he's new to Seeders and not quite sure about the exit strategy. I want to invest long term. Is Fortu going to be floated and AIM, or is it only via Seeders that I can sell my shares? So just to explain, Raf, basically what Seeders does with secondary shares, secondary market, is that they allow you to place a sell order, and if there is a buyer on the other end, they will be able to buy those shares from you. But if you want to invest long term, this is not what you have to worry about. So it's just in case if you want this liquidity in short term, you will be able to sell your shares at some point. And as I suggested, maybe even next year you will be able to sell, because those who will be buying, they will already be existing shareholders of Fortu, or those who just got interested about our projects. In terms of long-term goal and being floated, to be honest, we haven't thought about it with Firdavs because it's too far. At least it's, in my view, it's a bit at least 5 to 7 years from now, the exit. So, but obviously for us, it could be one of the scenarios. I know that, for example, Robinhood is planning to be listed next year. I was for one of my clients as advisor. We were the seed investors in Robinhood, and I was watching the whole story over this 7 years that they had, and it's an interesting story. And I mean, everything is possible. So for now, it's difficult to say what could be the exit. Another question. Sorry, guys, for keeping you waiting. So another question is, what if there are no new buyers on the secondary market? How do I cash out? Basically, you will have to discount the price until you find the buyer. As far as I understand, I have not used the secondary market myself on Cedars, but correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe Amadeo knows it, how the secondary market works. But I think it's you basically have to match the seller and the buyer. They have to match on the price. So if you can't find the buyer for the price that you set, you will have to move, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. But I guess one consideration is that secondary shares don't qualify for EIS.
Mm-hmm.
So typically there would be a discount
Yeah.
associated with it, because obviously we all benefit from, I guess, EIS now investing in primary shares.
Sure. Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. I think that's it. I hope we answered all the questions. Thank you so much for your time, guys. And thank you for supporting us again. Thank you for encouraging us to do what we do, and to helping us to bring this new digital wallet vision to the private banking space. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Enjoy the evening. Keep safe. Take care. Bye-bye.